that you have that. I said, shoot, I put it in there so I know what's in there. Come here. Guess what? You ought to ask God that question every time he show you how much he loves you. He really loves you so much so because he put more in you than he's been getting out of you. He know what he put in you. Some of y'all still stuck on not singing, but God gave you a voice. You sing in the shower, don't you? Come on, let's go to victory. You stand up at work, but you can't stand up at church. I wish I had somebody up in here. You make announcements at the cafeteria, but you can't do announcements at church. You ought to just go ahead and it's a question mark. He loves me. Exclamation point. He loves me. Question mark. But he loves me. Period. Watch this. He loves me, period. And you do know if you got any English professors in here, whenever there's a period, that's the end. Guess what? Can't nobody else write on the other side of that. Stop letting people put a comma where God's put a period. I don't care what they say you not or what you can't be. When God say you are, period, that's enough. If God say you a winner, period, guess what? I don't care how many times you lost, you're going to be a winner. I don't care if God say he going to give you a husband, period. I don't care how many times you've been a bridemaid. You getting ready to be a wife. Talk to me in here. See, the problem with most folk, Pastor, what we do is we got to have folk to compliment us and pat us on the back and stroke our ego and make us feel like we somebody. Well, guess what? I don't need none of that. I got this mirror at my house, and guess what? I tell you, it may not do it, but every time I pass by it, it seems like this mirror talk back to me. I wake up in the morning. You know what I tell that mirror? Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the sexiest chocolate of them all? And you know what that mirror say back to me? You big daddy, you big daddy. Period. He loves me, period. Look at your neighbor for the second time and tell your neighbor he loves me, period. I don't care what they said about you. Guess what? He loves me, period. I don't care how they say you wasn't going to make it. He loves me, period. Is there anybody up in here that just go ahead and take about 5 seconds and just shout because he loves me? Hey, period. He loves me. You may not give me another chance, but he'll give me another chance. Watch the text and we out of here. First of all, he gives us another chance. Verse 30 helps us by letting us know he give us another chance because it lets us know from verse number 30 that God, he searches the sideline. You missed it. He searched the sideline. He searched the sideline where you find folk who've actually given up on life. You find folk who act like they're not good as other folk. You find folk who have given up on themselves on the sideline. But thanks be to God, he searches the sideline. And I don't know how you feel about it, but once in my life I was actually disposed. I had deficiencies and I had to take a detour, but thanks be to God, he searched the sideline and get folk that don't feel like they are worth nothing. You don't believe me? Watch the text. The text says, and behold, two blind men sitting by the wayside, they heard that Jesus was passing by. You missed it. Let's do it again. And behold, two blind men sitting by the wayside. The wayside was never in the middle of the road, but the wayside was on the sideline. These two men came. They was blind, but they heard. They couldn't see, but they heard. They couldn't see. See, you may not can do everything, but you can do some things. I wish I had about 41 of y'all in here, and I'm going to make 42 and say what I can't do, I'm not going to worry about it, but I'm going to do what I can do in 2020. This my year. Do I have any faith talkers and faith walkers? This my year. I'm going to make this thing work. They heard, heard, and they said, have mercy on on me, O Lord. Watch this, because after they said that, they said it again. Thou son of David, have mercy on me. Some people will make you feel like you don't have no worth. Anybody been around them folk? And sometimes it's your family or your friends. They make you feel like you don't have no worth. And Lord have mercy, if you ever make a mistake in their presence, they will not let it go. They would not let it die. You remember back in 1944 when you stole my jewelry? Mama, we 2020 now. They won't let it go, but thanks be to God. God gives us another chance, because God got some jacked up folk on his resume. And can I be the first to tell you, I'm one of them people. Yes, I am. He got some mess. You don't believe me, do you? Walk back down here with me. Noah was on his resume, wasn't he? But he was a drunk. Abraham was on his resume, wasn't he? But he lied and pimped his wife. David was on his resume, right? But he was a homicidal maniac, talking to himself in a cave, and a murderer. But he was on there. Samson, 300 and 700 women. He was a player from Playerville, but he was on the resume. Rahab, a hooker from Hookerville, but she was on the resume. Peter wasn't nothing but an original OG. You make him mad, he gonna crush you out. You really get on his nerve, he gonna cut you. Paul, you know he was on the resume, but he was a persecutor of the church. And Peter, you know he would fight at the drop of a hat. But don't you look at Noah, Abraham, David, Samson, Rahab. You better take your mirror out and look at you. You're not that good. I know you're saying I am good. Well, guess what? That's because the pressure ain't been on you lately. You know what happened when the pressure get on you. You know what come out when the pressure get on you. I know you're an ex-cusser, you're an ex-life. We got a lot of exes in church. But when the pressure come on us, we revert to, I gotta move. What? He searches the sideline. Give your neighbor a low five and say, thank God. He searches the sideline. And for those of us who've been on the sideline, we're going to go to the highest praise on this one and say hallelujah. Yeah, because I've been on the sideline. I've gone through church hurt. They put me on the sideline. I've gone through a divorce. It put me on the sideline. But thanks be to God, when you took your hands off and say, I'm not giving him no more chances, thanks be to God, you know what he did? He gave me another chance. Listen, now you know what I just felt like doing? My grandson them come to the house and they always try to keep me up to date. And so the other day they was at the house and they was teaching me how to do this thing. When you get excited, they say you put your left hand out and your right on top and then you mop. I tell you, I felt so good just a moment ago. I almost wanted to mop up in here. Y'all better watch it. I'm about to pluck my beard out. I'm feeling too good. He searches. Yeah, Glover. He searches. Yeah. The sideline. But then watch this, because after verse 30 becomes verse 31 and 32. Not only do he search the sideline, but watch this, because you got to watch folk who try to delay and deny your delivery. Hey, they heard that he was passing by, and so they cried out, Lord, have mercy on me, son of David. And so some haters, or some people, procrastinators, or some folk that just didn't want them to get their favor. And it's strange that other folk that after they've been blessed, they then don't want you to be blessed. They happy when you still calling them for a ride. They don't want you to get your income tax and buy your own car.
Yes, sir, Doc. Come on, man.
Don't worry, your pastor, my friend. I'm coming back. Watch this. Some folk try mess with you, deny you, and don't want you to be delivered. But watch what they did. They got obstreperous. Obstreperous means made a lot of noise and it was all at once. So watch this. When they said, Son of David, have mercy on us in a mild voice, have mercy on us. And they say, man, shut up. Jesus not paying attention to y'all. But you know what they did? They got loud. And so what they did and said after they got out of the mild voice, they said, Son of David, I like how you jumped, have mercy on us. See, some folk gonna try to deny and delay your delivery, but you know what you gotta do? You gotta learn how to get obstreperous. Touch your neighbor and say obstreperous, meaning you gotta get loud, obnoxious, and noisy. You got to do what it takes to get what you gotta get. If my grandmother was here, she would tell you sometimes you gotta do stuff out of character so that you can be put back in character. Is there anybody up in here? Watch what happened when they yelled out, Pastor. First of all, they got Jesus' attention, and then they got Jesus' ability. First of all, they got Jesus' attention. How do you know? Because the text told me when they started yelling, Jesus stood still. You miss your shout. I mean, here's the one that have everything you need. You can ask what you want and he can give it to you. He can make a way out of no way. He can open doors, and if it's not a door, he can make a door, and all of a sudden he stopped. You missed it. You still stuck on doctors, but see, you got to go to doctor to doctor, but when Jesus healed you, you made whole. He stopped. He got Jesus' attention. Is there anybody up in this house that feel like me? If I can just get the attention of God, I'm going to be all right in 2020. I'm going to have more money. I'm going to have more honey. I'm going to have everything I need because I got his attention. Shout back at me if you will. I got his attention.